Orleans Saints podcast, presented by Rouse's Markets. You'll hear from players, coaches, broadcasters, and writers that cover the NFL daily. The New Orleans Saints podcast starts right now. Here are your hosts, Erin Summers and Todd Graffagnini.
Welcome into the New Orleans Saints podcast presented by Rouse's Markets. I'm Erin Summers alongside Todd Graffagnini. We are talking to you once again from the 50-yard line, the fleur-de-lis here at the Superdome. The Saints dropping their third preseason game 28-19 to the Denver Broncos. Although it was a loss, there's some good things we can take from this, namely seeing the starters for the first time all on the field. I think that is where we can start with this one, especially on the defensive end.
No doubt, Erin. This game really had a regular season feel to it. I mean, Denver played their ones as well on both sides of the ball. But going back to the Saints, I was really anxious, writing in my four-quarter column yesterday on Saints.com. I was really anxious to see our first-team defense because, to me, they have really shined from day one of camp, but we just haven't had a chance to see them in preseason game action. And for them to come out right away against a talented offense. Bo Nix played quarterback for the Broncos. Obviously, they had a very successful season last year, but to hold them to a 3-and-out very first series, I mean, Pete Werner and Demario Davis flying all over the place at those inside linebacker spots. I mean, Werner made 3 tackles before you could even blink. But you hold him to a 3-and-out, and then you've got him third down on the next series and have a chance to get off the field. And look, credit to Bo Nix. He made a really nice play, escaping pressure. You had him surrounded, and he was somehow able to get out of it and threw that little flip pass, and they got the first down. But that's the type of quarterback Bo Nix has turned into. But you had an legitimate opportunity to hold that team to 2 3-and-outs with that first-team defense. So it was just good to see all those guys out there at the same time because we've been watching it every day during practice.
Yeah, we're talking a lot about the new scheme, the 3-4, the new defensive line, Devon Godchaux being there in the middle. Getting to see him out there was fun. I mean, he is everything that we have been talking about as far as what we've seen at these practices. He is going to help in this run game.
And if you look at the numbers in that first quarter, the Broncos didn't run the ball at all. I mean, they attempted to, but they weren't able to get those chunk plays that we have seen in the preseason that the opponents have gotten, the Chargers and the Jaguars. So the first-team defense did what they needed to do as far as stop the run. It was just tough against the pass because Bo Nix made plays with his legs. He made some unbelievable throws. And Courtland Sutton, I mean, what can you say? The guy is just a phenomenal wideout. He's big, he's physical. And, I mean, they really hunted him, did Nix. They wanted that matchup with Kool-Aid McKinstry. I thought really kind of held his own. Sutton just made some tremendous plays. And Nix threw it up for, I wouldn't say up for grabs, but he threw it up where Sutton could get it, and he was able to come down with it. But, again, I'd say that the first-team defense passed the test.
We'll talk more about who came in after the first-team defense on the defensive side, but going back to the starters on the offense, it was quarterback Spencer Rattler that got the start in this one. He was 5 for 8 for 43 yards. His longest attempt was a 12-yard pass. Could have been better had he been able to hit Rashid Shaheed on what was going to be a nice open look, and Rashid probably could have taken it a little bit further after the catch. That was unfortunate, I think, and I'm even just listening to Coach Moore now, he said that's one that I know Spencer is going to want back. He's going to look at it, and we'd like him to make that throw, but, sometimes stuff like that's going to happen. When you look at his performance and the fact that he was running with the ones, how would you evaluate it?
I think that when Rattler goes home tonight, I think he's just going to feel that he left a lot of meat on the bone. I mean, that's just my personal opinion watching the game. I think, when he was taken out of the game, he was frustrated. He thought that he, maybe could have got some. Look, the quarterbacks are very competitive. We've seen that from day one. They want to play every rep of every quarter. So I think that's why he probably was frustrated, because he felt that he could have done more and maybe wasn't given the opportunity to. But, yeah, Erin, I mean, there were some chances for him out there to make plays and, just little things. But the one he's really going to stew over is that Shaheed play, because Shaheed was open, running a slant, and whether it was tipped, and there's been a little debate whether the ball was tipped at the line of scrimmage, either way, you got to make that play if you're a quarterback. But the other play that I think he's going to want back was the throw out to the right where Chris Olave was wide open on the sideline, and Olave had to go down and catch it basically off of his ankles. And if the throw is chest high, Olave catches it, and he goes 2 yards forward for a first down. Well, the throw being low forced Olave to go down. He did make the catch, but he wasn't able to advance the ball any further. And that comes back to haunt you because that was the 3rd and 1, the 4th and 1, the tush push, all the reviews, the stoppage of play. Ultimately, the Saints did not convert on that 4th down, but nobody thinks about what happened 2 plays prior to that. If it's a first down, none of that occurs and the drive extends. So that, to me, are the 2 plays that really I think Rattler's going to think about tonight and be like, man, I don't know if I did enough. But, I mean, look, the competition as we know it is over. And now it's up to the coaches and the player personnel staff. And, you know, we just heard Kellen Moore talk to the media. I mean, this is a healthy discussion, as he quote unquote described it. So there's going to be a lot of talking back and forth in the next couple days. I'm curious because I think Tyler Shuck helped himself today, and I don't think Rattler did advance in an opportunity where he might have been able to because he worked with the ones.
Most of the ones came out early in the second quarter, and then that was the same time that changing of the guard happened between Rattler to Tyler Shuck. Shuck came in, and he actually played a decent amount.
Yeah.
He had 12 completions out of 20 attempts, went over 100 yards. He had a long one to Trayton Welch, somebody that we've seen get a lot of action here in the preseason games and do very well, even though he did deal with an injury at one point, so he hasn't been 100% as far as being able to participate in everything. But the fact that he's playing through whatever it was last week, had a big catch this week as well. So Trayton Welch is somebody to watch over the next few days as they're evaluating things in the tight end room. Tyler came in and he did have the touchdown because he ended up running it in and seemed like he was moving the ball a lot better than Rattler had been.
Well, not at first. It wasn't like Shuck came out and just started winging the ball all over the place. He struggled at times as well, and he turned the ball over. Now, we'll say this, Rattler did not turn the ball over. You know, Shuck got sacked, he got stripped, a little bit more ball security from him. But we have seen his ability to not focus on the mistakes he might have had. And every time he is, kind of hit a little bit of a speed bump or a hiccup, whatever, he's come back. And, the touchdown drive was a thing of beauty. 12 plays, 77 yards, 4:14 off the clock. And, I mean, can you execute a better RPO from the 11-yard line than he did with Devin Neal? I mean, Summers, you could have backflipped into the end zone, the amount of room that he had to go in, but that just shows you, his cerebral football IQ. I mean, he saw that play was going to be wide open. He had a perfect fake to Devin Neal, and that was great. But it's all about you got to put 6 on the board in the NFL. I mean, field goals are nice, and Blake Grupe, you are my MVP. I just want to tell you that right now in case you're listening. MVP at camp, I've never seen it. He went the entire camp missing one kick. It's unbelievable what Blake Grupe did in the last month. It's pretty nice to know if you get the ball at the 35-yard line of the opposition, you're scoring no matter what. But again, I digress. But yeah, Shuck, I have to think, Erin, coming into this game that Rattler had a bit of an edge coming in. I don't know about that now. I think, it's a dead heat. It's going to be, I wouldn't want to be in that. Well, actually, I kind of would be in that room to listen to the debates with the coaches. But I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah. Coach Moore said that it starts tomorrow. They are going to sit together as coaches, personnel, staff, and review film, talk through the roster, talk through the quarterback situation. They will make a decision on the starting quarterback this week. So I don't know what day that will be, but before Labor Day weekend, You can know who the starting quarterback is.
It needs to be this. I mean, whoever, because they're starting practice again on Wednesday. You get the players are off tomorrow. They come in on Monday and Tuesday, and then there's an actual practice on Wednesday. So, again, in my mind, the quarterback's got to be named because he's got to get the reps.
Yeah.
He's got to get the reps with the ones. So whoever is going to be needs to be by Wednesday. And, it's a tough week, too. As you mentioned, cut down day is Tuesday, 3 o'clock. There's a lot of tough decisions to be made. You got to go from 90 to 53 in the next 3 days. So there's a lot of work for these coaches to do.
And part of it is going to be evaluating where they're at injury-wise as well, because in this game, we unfortunately didn't see Talia Seifuaga because he had a little knee thing pop up Wednesday at practice, didn't participate Thursday. Didn't seem like it was anything serious, but they held him out today. Landon Young started in his spot. Landon Young goes down during the game. He was carted off, so not sure of the severity of that, but that was an ankle injury. Then we see Shane Lemieux. He left with an ankle injury. And then also Christian Boyd on the other side of the line. He left with a hand injury. So Coach Moore said that they've really got to figure out the severity of not only those injuries, but where they sit with some other players that have been held out for a couple weeks as well. And then that's when the roster manipulation starts. Where do you need to backfill in certain areas? Can you do it with people on the practice squad? You can now put vets on the practice squad. A lot of different nuances to building these rosters, starting with the 53, and then taking into consideration the 16 you get on the practice squad.
Yeah, no, that's good because it was crazy, Erin. We went through 2 weeks of training camp where nobody really missed a rep. And then the Charger game, you see Will Clapp go down and then Penning, and it's been all downhill ever since. I mean, and you're trying to bring in guys, you're trying to trade for offensive linemen, you're signing guys, and I mean, it's just been a position that's been hard hit, and that's tough because it's really the most vital position group on the field. Because if you don't have an offensive line, it's impossible to move the football, no matter who's at quarterback. So, yeah, that's just something they're going to have to really monitor. They're going to have to see, like you said, the severity of these injuries, because that will influence what they do as far as keeping the final 53.
Yeah, that offensive line, big part of the run game. Somebody we saw for the first time today was running back Devin Neal, and it was great that he was able to get out here. He just got back on the practice field this week, dealing with a hamstring injury earlier in camp, and he had 5 rushes, 20 yards, which was the leading rusher alongside Tyler Shuck, also had 20, but he also got involved in the receiving game. He had 2 receptions, so he showed a lot of variety in his game.
Yeah, no, first play, his first carry in the NFL was a 5-yard rush right up the middle. I thought one of the plays of the game during that touchdown drive was Shuck eluding pressure. He rolled to his right, used his legs a little bit, and found Devin Neal on the right sideline, and that was a 3rd down conversion. That extended the drive and allowed the Saints to score their only touchdown of the day. So it was good to see him involved in both aspects. Kellen Moore talked about him in the pass protection game as well. So if you can do all 3 of those things, you're going to really improve your chances of making the final 53, or practice squad at the least.
Neal definitely making a good case for himself. He's somebody that might get picked up, though, if you put him on waivers. So there's that in play as well. Alvin Kamara did take 1 snap, so he was out there.
Technically, he started.
He did start. He took 1 snap. And then after that, it was Kendre Miller, who Coach Moore spoke glowingly about. So he didn't play that many snaps either. He wanted Kendre to get in with the ones, run some with that group, and then he sat when the one sat.
Best part about Kendre Miller this camp, what is it, Erin?
His availability.
There you go. We've been working together a while now. Availability. He's been out there every single day, which has just been a stark contrast from the first 2 years of his career. He had missed a practice. He had missed a rep. So that's been, and he runs hard. I think he's had some really bad luck. And Erin, I mean, think about it. The best runs that he has had in the preseason games, they've come back because of holding. It's just really, really unfortunate. But no, it's just good to see him out there. He's a physical runner. He's fast. He's put together. So he's got all the availability, but he's obviously going to make the team, but I think as of right now, he is the number 2 running back.
Yeah, I would agree with that. You go back to the defensive side, and as the game went on, we've seen a couple of the same people start to really stand out. Jonas Sanker all over the place. We saw Fadil Diggs make a huge play on special teams, and when you're trying to make a team, you can impact on that side of things, and that helps your leverage to make the 53.
Stutzman as well.
Yep.
Danny Stutzman made a great play on a kickoff, and I was thinking the same thing, because Diggs has shown a pretty solid ability as an edge rusher, but if you're going down there full bore and you're making plays on kickoffs and punts, you're going to make the team. Stutzman showed the same thing, and that's pretty solid when you're talking about these guys as rookies being able to do that on special teams. And again, you want to make an NFL roster, you contribute on special teams, you're going to improve your chances greatly.
Another rookie who stood out again was Quincy Riley. He had an interception in this one and a pass deflection, so he's continually stacking good plays as well.
He's got a little ball hawk in him. When these guys, and we've seen this all camp long, when there are opportunities to intercept passes, they are doing it. And again, Quincy Riley has impressed really early on in camp. He's gotten a lot of reps in the preseason. We just talked about it. None of the ones really have played much of preseason football at all defensively until today. So Riley has gotten the majority of reps in all the preseason games at cornerback. So he's been out there a bunch. And I love tip drills when your guys are able to get the pick, because they should be picked if they're fluttering in the air like that. But it just tells you, if you're around the ball, good things are going to happen to you, and that's what Riley has done.
Yeah, it was Rajon Wright, another cornerback, who led the team in total tackles with 9. He had 7 solo, so did really well again today. Again, another factor in special teams. So we'll see where things pan out there in the cornerback room. Ugo Amadi was all over the place, blitzing. He's somebody that's going to probably get some playing time because of injuries and need in that slot, potentially. We don't know what the status is of Alontae Taylor, but he has missed the last 2 games. So there's that out there as well. I mean, there's a lot of question marks that I'm really curious to have answered, and it'll all happen here in the next couple of days, Graf.
Yeah, it's hard to believe, Erin. You come in on July 23rd and you're thinking about, all right, we're getting ready for a long camp, and then all of a sudden you blink and it's over. I mean, the last preseason game is done, and cut-down day is in 2 days, 3 days from now. It's Saturday. I'm thinking it's Sunday, but it is Saturday. And then it's regular season, so it happened pretty quickly if you think about it. But now it's up to the coaches and the personnel department and the front office, and they got to get the roster down to 53.
Mm-hmm. I will say the one penalty today that I can get behind is the one where the team got penalized for running on the field.
I'm calling the timeout. Now you want to? Now you
no,
really,
they're just having a great time and
really
they're supporting each other.
We have been doing this, okay? We have been doing this since 2017, okay? 2017, we've been, getting turnovers and running into the end zone and doing. That is the first time I've ever seen a flag thrown for that. So, is this a new directive down from the NFL?
It's because they could tell people that weren't dressed were running on the field.
Okay, all right. Well,
because they were wearing street clothes.
Okay,
basically.
well, I didn't see.
So that's the caveat.
I looked the other way.
But when you run on the field and everyone's in uniform, you can't really tell. But here it was very obvious.
Well, you know what? We're not going to have that problem anymore because we have 90 guys on the sideline, and now we're not going to have 90 guys.
No, but that's the kind of energy that I've seen from this team that I can get behind. I support.
Okay.
So
if you put it that way. But it's like, I've never seen them, but I didn't. But see, you're down on the sideline. I'm up there in the igloo at the top of the, I'm at the top. And by the way, the AC was full blast today. So I dressed appropriately because it was cold up there today. But no, I did not see all that extracurricular activity.
Yeah.
So if that's why they threw the flag, okay.
Anyways, this team is having a great time. They support each other. The energy's been high, good. Kellen Moore has brought a lot to this team that I think they're excited about, and now we're just starting to turn the page into what it's going to look like in the regular season, and I'm ready for it. So, Graff, thank you so much for joining me for all of training camp. It's been a pleasure.
Yeah, Erin. It's been a summer odyssey for me every year since I've been here now. It's my sixth camp. I was talking to JD. We were not allowed to attend camp one year because of COVID. So that was the one camp that I did not cover. But yeah, it's always fun for me to see the team up close and personal and cover these guys. And now I'll have an opportunity to sit back and watch the games.
All right, that is it from the Caesars Superdome and the Saints' third preseason game. Thanks so much for listening right here on the New Orleans Saints podcast presented by Rouse's Markets.
Thanks for listening to the New Orleans Saints podcast presented by Rouse's Markets. Join us 3 times per week on NewOrleansSaints.com, the Saints mobile app, or you can download the podcast on iTunes. We'll see you next time, right here on the New Orleans Saints podcast, presented by Rouse's Markets.